Welcome back to Games Revealed. I am James and also the Brink, and we are one community. And today we're going to be doing something a little different. Today we're going to be doing a show. Right now it is 7 o'clock my time, or 6 o'clock Pacific, and we're going to be doing like a slideshow, talk about this stuff. I'm going to go through a lot of different talking points, and then we'll have let's chat kind of at the end of each section. It's kind of how we're going to go about this. But in order to give people enough time to kind of join, we're going to just wait a few minutes. And so, yeah, how is everyone going? Andre, welcome. Maybe I will return. It depends on how tired I'll be by then. Had a hard work day. Hey, Andre, that sucks that you had it could be like a hard work day. It's not bad. But if it was like a bad work day in that, if it was just like worked a little extra harder, exhausted, got to go get some sleep, don't blame you. Rachie, the goat is on. Yes, Andre was here. He was on. Wolf, welcome. And how are you guys doing? We're gonna be having a different type of stream today. And depending on how this one goes, I don't know, like I've thought about moving the streams over to my other channel where I stream more and then kind of like leave streaming there, and then, but we can talk about that later. I just know that like I don't think the streams it can hurt your channel streaming on the same one that you do videos. While we're waiting, I messed things up. Let's see. How are you guys doing? Are you guys enjoying the CES? Like, there's a lot of fun stuff to talk about. Dickrus, what's up? Let's see. Okay. Wait, why did it go over there? Interesting. Okay. Yeah. So what is the most enjoyable part of CES so far for you guys? I'm kind of curious. Hulkamania. Is that it? Quilts are, there's some more AMD Windows-based handhelds coming. Rachie, the 2280 SSD not fitting in those handhelds were pure cap. The Legion Go S can not only fit a 2242, but you can expand on the 2280 slot. This was the best part. Oh, I didn't catch that part. I don't have that in my slots. I did a breadth of research on a couple of different topics that we're going to cover today, and then let chat. Maybe you guys can fill me in on some of the depth. I didn't go because I've been following things and reading articles, but sometimes the articles don't go in as much depth as I was hoping. Dickrus, gaming handheld announcements. Of course. BT Maverick, what's up? BT Maverick? Welcome. BT Maverick was hoping for Nvidia to announce an APU for the handhelds. I agree. I would have loved to see something like that. I'd love to see competition in that area. But Nvidia, it could have been worse what they did this time. I thought their prices were going to be much higher. If you listen to Off the Console, you'll hear us kind of complain about potentially Nvidia really overcharging. For about $2,000 is a lot for the most expensive card, but you got to remember that is the most expensive one. You can, with frame generation, with the 5070, do fairly decent. Once again, that's if you don't mind frame generation. There's a lot to that. Richie, I really want a new Shield TV. I agree. Dickrus, I'm actually interested in the Legion Go S, even if they're not as powerful as the Z1 Extreme. So the Legion Go, yeah, I couldn't find. If you guys could find something, if you want, okay, let's do this. Throw into the Discord channel, into general, just links of anything you want me to talk about at the end of this. So how this is going to go is, I have, wait, what? Okay. That's new. Present. Do I have to do full screen? That's good enough. Okay, cool. So hopefully I don't cover up too much of the screen with my face. So in fact, I think just for now, I'm going to disable. Let's see here. Yeah, we're going to disable that. Okay. So I made a fancy little thing. This is not, I mean, presentation, gaming kind of going together kind of seems like boring and whatnot, but I wanted to collect my thoughts and I wanted to record these in a way that I'm going to try to do clips. So how I'm going to do this is that I'll be kind of doing almost like an intro to a video in some ways, go through some of the talking points. And then at the end, we're going to do the less chat, meaning we're going to talk at the end of what I'm talking about. We're going to kind of try to make this a little beefier for the first probably 30, 40 minutes of this show. At the end, then we'll go and look up a bunch of other stuff and have some more fun towards the end. We'll see how this goes. If I don't like it, we'll abandon it and we'll still do it, but I'll talk to you guys. Wolf, isn't that our old logo? Not really. Actually, technically it's not. So this logo right here is technically the newest iteration of the logo. I simplified it. I just what I could find on the computer. BT Maverick, I'm glad they kept the 5090 on the smaller side. I thought it was going to be two 4090 stacked together. Everyone did. They really what they did was they really matched on or they like betted on AI, right? But we'll talk about that in a second. Travin, welcome. Oh, Travin. Yeah, this is not like this is not a show that we're watching someone else. This is my show. This is me doing it and talking about what's kind of happened so far. So yes, you can, but you're more than welcome to stick around. It's a great community. Rachie, I don't know. Did the Z1 Extreme really need to be octa-core CPU? The GPU is the bottleneck. Yeah, that's an interesting question. I don't know with that. Cool, sir. It does look at the performance of the three allied devices. The E Extreme makes a huge difference. Yeah, I definitely need to look into all this. Okay, so let's start this out. So, yes. So Nvidia has come out with, like at the beginning of the week, Nvidia came out with their newest GeForce and everything announcements, and I wasn't able to fit everything into here, so we're gonna have some fun doing this. This is going to be very interesting, to say the least, because there is a special little announcement for the Steam Deck towards the end of the Nvidia kind of stuff that I don't think you guys realized. I don't have a slide on it though. So I gotta say, when I saw the numbers for and my face is in the way. Let me see if I can move my face. So when I saw the numbers here, I was a little shocked to see 32 gigabytes for the 5090. And I was a little shocked to see that I was shocked that the total graphics power was not higher, but that was still very high. So the power is 575, and for how small it is, it's actually not too bad. It is a very self-contained, and it does, instead of 3 fans like it used to have, it has 2 fans. This is going to be interesting because it requires 1,000-watt power supply, which I don't even think I have one. I used to have one. This is going to be very interesting because it has a lot more cores, but you can see that they don't boost as high, but that's always the case. The ray tracing also T-flops, like it doubles the 5080. It is crazy that this almost doubles everything else. So you can definitely see why the wattage almost doubles, right? That makes a lot of sense. But total required is kind of an interesting one. And you can also see right here, it requires one 60-watt PCIe Gen 5 or 4 PCIe 8-pin adapter. So it's going to require one like big one, like of the new gen, or it's going to require of the older gen of the 8-pin connectors, 4 of them. That's this. Let's just say this thing is less power hungry than I thought it was going to be, but it is power hungry. And at this price, I will have to say the leaks maybe helped it not feel like it was so much. And to be fair, the 5090, the high, so their flagship or their like highest cost anywhere, like MacBook, whatever it is, their highest like cost version is always been ridiculous, and it's only for the extremes of what people want to spend. Would I buy this 5090? Probably not. But who knows? Like, there's a small little chance that maybe in the future I really feel like that it would be helpful. I see all the benchmarks. It could help in game dev. Awesome. I don't think it's going to, because a lot of the pure performance looks good on paper, but I don't think it's going to I still don't think it's going to because they rely so much on AI. So a lot of the stuff, which we're going to get into here in a second, shows a lot of their the results, the FPS in DLSS 4, which is a big deal. But this is still, you can see how the price comparison, like the price to performance kind of goes up. And even though the hardware on the 5090 is like almost double where it matters, like the clocks matter, but it doesn't matter enough. The performance is still going to be quite a bit more everywhere else, but it's not going to be like that in game, right? You're not going to see 100% increase from the 5080 to the 5090. And not that the specs totally match that. What you're going to see is you're going to see more like 40% increase kind of stuff. But we're going to have to see. I don't even have the stuff for today to look at it, or if we have some comparisons kind of, but they're not great. So the biggest thing too is the RAM is a little disappointing. Let's just say that. The RAM for the 5070, I was just hoping that it would be 16. And I'm hoping that third parties or anyone else like doesn't just cheap out on the RAM. Like, the RAM is very important. It is GDDR7, that's going to be a very interesting I don't know. Coulter, you're going to have to throw the toenail clippers into the chat, into Discord. I think 16 would have been perfect, but DLSS 4, maybe even the earlier ones, I think the earlier ones too, really help with RAM consumption. We'll get into that in a second. So you can see that the bus is also lower. 256 is good, but this does matter also in performance. So the DLSS, like, if you don't mind DLSS 5, the 5070 is a great card. $500, whatever. Like, I will have to see it for myself. I don't mind DLSS personally, depending on the game. Some games are kind of garbage. Some games are great when it comes to DLSS and FSR. So, speaking of DLSS, this is the performance gains from the, and this is another thing I don't like about Nvidia, is that DLSS is I don't even think it's really hardware locked that much. It's probably more locked to the I don't know, is it CUDA cores? Let's go back real quick. The tensor cores, that's, I believe, where the AI occurs, like the machine learning more or less is in the tensor cores, correct? So it even has it has 1,000 roughly tensor cores right here, as opposed to 3,000. So I think they could backdate. I think DLSS 4, and from my understanding, DLSS 4 won't work with on older gen cards. Every generation they usually do that. So like with 4090 DLSS 3.5 with full RT on, it was running at 100 frames per second. This is 4090, as opposed to double that. Even a little bit more than double that on a 5090 DLSS 4, which you're like, yeah, it's a step up. A step up should be quite a bit more, but that's ridiculous. But come on, guys, like it is a little bit of a trickery. So it is AI assisted. It's kind of like how I like to think about it. We're getting AI assisted frameworks. We're getting AI assisted help here. This is not really anything like it's revolutionary, but not pure performance revolutionary. It's not like there's zero artifacts, zero issues to that doubling of performance. It is not raw performance. This is assisted performance is, I think, the best way to put it. It's fine. I'm trying to decide on how I feel about this because I know a lot of people don't like DLSS and FSR or FSR. I do. I like it. And I especially like it in handhelds. I like it in handhelds the most because that's where it makes the most sense. Like, do I want to run my game at 240? Yes, it's going to, like, it'd be, well, no, I don't actually. I want to run it at like 90 to 100 frames is like my cutoff. After that, I can't really tell. I'm also getting a little older, so I'm not in my 20s. I think someone in their 20s maybe could tell a little bit higher. I know that like when it comes to precision and like Counter-Strike and games like that, it can help. And so I definitely see that this could help there, but then the ghosting or if there's any artifacts could throw off the competitive nature just a little bit. So yeah, will DLSS ever get good enough to be indistinguishable or worth it is kind of like my take on it. And I think there's a lot of split. I think there's a lot of people that agree with that, and there's a lot of people that don't agree with that. So where do you guys lay? I'm kind of curious. We're gonna get to I'll bring up your guys' stuff and everything. So yeah, make sure to @ me if you want me to respond. But advanced AI performance, it's machine learning. Like deep down, it's probably machine learning with a little extra flair to it. Like meaning they probably have, like, it's not true AI. Like this AI thing is kind of frustrating, but it is what it is. And I think this is a cool way to go about it because we're getting to the theory, like essentially to the theory, like it's not a theory, but like to the limit of how small we can shrink our die of our APUs, CPUs, GPUs, everything. I mean, we're just getting to the limit. So we have to make the performance up somewhere else, and doing it based off of additional cores like tensor cores is really interesting, and doing it based off of machine learning and AI like technologies is a very interesting way. And I wasn't sure if we hit a wall, but I still don't think we've hit the wall yet. I don't think DLSS 4 is going to be the last of it. I think they're going to get to the point where it's going to be smooth enough to be worth the extra gains, and we'll probably be able to. I think it's always going to be with us. I think that machine learning or AI assisted performance is here to stay. I also like to game at 4K and 8K. I haven't done it at 8K, but I like gaming at 4K, so I also will like this for 4K. I am curious, though, to get a little bit bigger monitor for 8K. But I know once you get past like 5K, it doesn't matter. But got to have it for the fun. For the fun. Nvidia's answer to lower RAM is kind of the machine learning. The like right here, RTX neural material. Oh, fancy. I don't know if that's going to require a fancy API or anything else like that, or if that's just like a part of how this offloads textures. I'm assuming is that. So the standard material, which This is a weird comparison too, where I'm like, these don't look the same. But the reason I threw this in here is because standard material is 50, like they show right here, 47 megabytes of memory. Crazy. Over here, 16 megabytes of memory. I mean, in reduction of memory, I can see why they went down to they haven't really upped their memory. They're really heavily relying on DLSS and their AI technologies to not really have to do that. Because even with this would destroy the 32 gigabyte version of the 49 or the 5090, which I want raw performance to always be decent. So I get why they're doing lower memory, like lower RAM. I get it. I don't like it until the AI technology is good enough to then justify it. If you could turn on DLSS 4 and have zero artifacting, ghosting, whatever it is, then I am here for it. But right now, it's not purely that. So they need to increase the RAM until they have it more perfected. So it's a good experience. Don't worry, Catsmith, for you. Welcome, welcome. We're going to get to you guys in a second. So here are the comparisons. And this is always my favorite thing to see is, oh, crap. There we go. Stick me in the middle. It's always interesting to see this. So we have 5090, we got 5080, and it has comparisons between the current gen and the last gen, essentially. And it looks like they're mirroring it too, like the 4070 Ti, which is just another ridiculous thing. Just make the just make the 5070. Don't do a Ti. Stop doing this Ti stuff. I really do get tired of all the different SKUs. Just make performant cards that like 300, 600, 1,000, and maybe 2,000, whatever. Like you guys don't have to buy the newest card or the newest card. So this just kind of shows the performance of DLSS over the generations. This is really what this shows. We saw it kind of already with that GIF or movie or whatever I was playing earlier. This showcases just how much of an increase. Like I put these all together. They don't really, match, but I just want to show you, like, it's a pretty big increase. Far Cry, not so much. So not every game is going to see a huge increase in, oh wait, this is just in ray tracing. So, okay. So this is pure performance. So pure performance, we see like a 20% increase. Plagues to like everything else is pretty much full DLSS. And then you start to see, like, even Plague Requiem with the DLSS doesn't actually get a huge increase, but Cyberpunk does. I'm kind of curious what goes into that and how much support has to be done by the game developers to support this type of thing. Like I said, Far Cry, this performance right here, like if you're not going to be running DLSS, I probably would not. And you have a 4000 series card, I probably wouldn't recommend going to the 5000 series. Let's just looking at this. We'll have to see better raw numbers, but this definitely is not very impressive. Let's just say a leap in performance. So, yeah, we saw all the costs and everything. When's it going to come out? January. So the 5090 and the 5080 is going to come out at the end of January, which is, the end of this month. Then which I was kind of shocked that it was. The 5070 series are going to be coming out in February. It says starting in February, but I have a feeling it will probably be the mid part of February. Which I do like. I will say this right now. I do like seeing this type of announcement and release cycle. I don't like, and hardware is typically like this, but it's usually later out in the year. We're getting this like right away after they announced it, which I like. I like that. So that's really nice. What are my plans? That's a good question. And we already kind of answered that. Like, what do you guys think? Let me go through chat real quick, and then I'll ask the questions and all that. Yes, the Icarus, $2,000 is still a pretty penny. Of course it is. Raichi, Nvidia CEO told us even if the competition was free, they will still buy Nvidia GPU are more energy efficient. I don't think they are more energy efficient, are they? Trevin, too expensive for 5090. It could have been 1500. I agree, but this is like the most, like, they've always charged outrageous prices for the flagship version of their GPUs, and I mean, inflation can be a little bit into play on this, but I think they've charged $2,000 before for a card. You guys could correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I believe they've had some cards where they've been near $2,000. So I was expecting potentially $2,600. So when I saw 2,000 or 1,999, I was a little bit like, okay, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. It will be interesting to see how this all plays out. Alumhi, welcome. DLSS is amazing, but devs use it to hide their lack of skills. Raichi. Yes and no. Here's the thing. They do use it to not optimize as much as they could, but games are really complicated. And I preach this every time because I really think people don't get this. Games are really freaking hard to make nowadays, especially if you want to make games that are very expansive, very detailed, very like there's different verticals, different like areas where once you start to do a lot in those areas, it gets very complicated. And like resource management is a big part of it. And some game companies are very good at it, but some games are also very cinematic, meaning they handle those assets in a very different way. You're not able to, as a player, interact with. Let's say Last of Us. Most of what you see on there, you cannot interact with a few exceptions. So they don't have to apply physics to anything. They can go into it very optimized, whereas Skyrim, you can interact with half the stuff. And this is that. And Skyrim's an old game. And you can interact with like half the stuff. And that can get more intensive. That can get more, like back then. Nowadays, it's just like, whatever the next Elder Scrolls is going to be, it's going to be more difficult. Capping frames limited the power draw to even if you can go higher. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. Quilter, you look well rested and moisturized. Do I? Quilter, I do feel more well rested, I guess. I've been working out a lot more, which has actually been helping. Raichi, AMD will come out with an inferior product, charge $5 less while using double the electricity. You think so? I don't know if they use that much more electricity. I'll have to look into all that. Raichi, Nvidia looks scummy, but the real scumbag is AMD who follow Nvidia pricing. Plague Tale only uses DLSS 3. This is why there isn't a big difference. Oh, they didn't show that. That's interesting. Look, man, you guys are so knowledgeable. Stuff. Wolf, do it. I didn't think I would be interested in it, but once I watched it, it looked like something I'd play. What? Oh, the Hello Kitty adventure? Is that what you're talking about? Wolf? I'll need the link. Let's see. Crumpley Pork. Good morning. It is 2:27 here in the UK. The only thing I'm interested in is in the eGPU from ASUS for my Ally X. Damn, I did not put that in here. We'll have to put that onto the list. Maybe, and welcome, by the way. Wolf, maybe we'll have to grab could you maybe look up a link for that and throw it in a Discord and we'll look it up later. So let's move on. So that's like the NVIDIA kind of stuff. Oh, okay. We can ask a couple of questions. Sorry. Is it too expensive? Which I've asked you guys. I guarantee half you guys think it's too expensive. The other half probably is like, it's the price of doing business every year. Things increase. I personally, I only buy the most expensive graphics cards if I either get a good deal, if it's the only thing I can get, or if I feel like I can justify it. And right now, I don't think I can. Like if I was to go Nvidia route, I would probably go with the 5070 Ti or the 5080. I might spend $1,000 on that 5080, but I don't think I'd go higher. I don't know about you guys. If you were to buy, let's say if you were, whether or not you're going to, you don't need to say you're going to or not. Which card would you buy and why? Raichi, the competition are not competing, so Nvidia can do what they want. I agree, and that's why this is me being like, treating this like, oh, it could have been worse kind of situation. Don't think that I like the $2,000, but I was like the leaks and everything that I was reading into, like I thought it was going to be $2,600. So when it was 2,000, I was like, okay, and it's probably something they leaked that they were like, oh, maybe it's gonna be $2,600, so it got leaked that way. Yeah, I don't know. Decorous, I'd go with the 5070 Ti. Yeah, I think that's around the realm I'd potentially go. The Casma 3, what does the Ti part mean on the graphics card? That is actually a good question. I used to know. I have not. I honestly haven't followed naming conventions of cards in a while, just the tech more or less. If anyone knows what the TI part is, that'd be interesting. It does have a performance boost. It's probably more within the bus or something like that it has more of a boost in. And honestly, it's probably the TI could even be the manufacturing those chipsets, and the ones that perform better will be TI, and the ones that are worse will be the 5070. That tends to be sometimes how they do CPU, APU, GPU development, meaning they have certain levels of how well it's going to perform under stress, and then that's how they sell it. Raichi, and don't want to upgrade my PSU to so 5070 it is. Yeah. I'm going to be building a whole new computer. And I was going to be getting a whole new MacBook, but I think I'm going to get the smaller MacBook for doing some development here and to run some systems on my like maybe a media server and some other stuff on it, and then eventually upgrade into a new MacBook. But I do plan on this year. I want to get Susie and me a new computers, partially because mine's been finicky, and so it's been frustrating to like stream and play games and stuff because games will crash sometimes. Partially, I just need to sit down and fix it. I'm too lazy. And so eventually, honestly, what I might do is I might go the Bazite section way, or do something. Maybe I'll switch to Linux for a little bit on it, as I do a lot of my editing now on Mac. So Lone Key, for me, I go for the 9700 XT. Nvidia pulling what they did. AMD going have to do something, make their card look good in price. I kind of agree with that, Lone Key. I am also eyeing over AMD. I honestly might do 2 videos this year. Do some like really fun videos, and I might do one building a PC with Susie, and I might go AMD for her, and then I might do an Nvidia AMD build. Maybe I'll go Intel, but I don't know. I might go just AMD CPU. I don't necessarily care on the CPU right now. For myself, or I'll reverse that. I'll do an AMD for me and whatever. It just depends on what it's going to work better for game development is what I care about. Crumply, I would buy the 5090, but I'm someone who upgrades a full PC after 6 years of use. I don't upgrade over time as I'm lazy. When I want a new PC, I start fresh, and I'm due for a new PC. Ooh, so Crumply Pork is going to be potentially getting a 5090 next year, or this year, that is. So, man, I keep on forgetting it's the beginning of the year. Yeah, I understand that. Raichi, I forget all NVIDIA GPU has this weird 16-pin connector. Yes. They have some, it's going to be power hungry. On Crumply Pork, I'm kind of there with you, especially back, I don't know, years ago, I would upgrade every 2 to 3 years my computer and then sell my old computer to my friends and stuff like that as a really discount. Like I'd give them a good deal on it. And I'd usually walk away with about, after let's say 2 or 3 years, a little like a third of the money, and then I just upgrade and kind of just Because if you wait 6 or 7 years, sometimes you can't sell it for very much, and so you kind of lose value anyways. And so if you sell it sooner, at least you get some money, I guess. I don't know, to upgrade it. It's kind of how I think sometimes about that. I really don't know. Like I said, I don't think I'd do the 5090 unless I feel like I'd get a lot out of it. But they run really hot, and my room, my office cannot handle that right now. I don't want to buy an AC unit just for my room to cool it down from that 5090. But Grumpily Pork, I am eyeing it over. I have a 3090 in my current PC, so, and I've had it for 5 years, so 4 years. Almost 5 years, I think. So I'm due for an upgrade soon. J-Bro, welcome. Will these make the 4080 less expensive? Yes and no. Probably not that much less expensive. You might see a little bit of a price decrease while they're offloading what they have left. And then you won't be able to buy a 4080. They'll just be 5080s. The problem with Nvidia, especially in some of these big companies, I wouldn't be surprised if we have some lawsuits come out in the future. I want to be a little bit on their nice side because I wouldn't mind getting a card to test. So, but I wouldn't be surprised. Like if there's a little bit of they do some. They manufacture shortages almost. It's like what it seems like. That's what I'm trying to get to. Coulter HDMI 2.2. Do we need it? How about the new Rock with a robotic arm? Not only sweep and mop, but pick up after the kids. Yeah, we're going to be getting to a couple of different stuff like that, Coulter. TI means titanium, but it has a higher performance than non-TI models. Yes. And honestly, I bet you it's because of the chipset. The ones that do really well are TIs, like I said. Shetty's gaming and tech. I'm not building shit till Half-Life 3 exists, so I'm safe. Nice. Okay. Yeah, I forgot about that. So here's some honest truth, guys. Let's switch this just real quick. Let's make sure. If Half-Life 3 comes out this year, or if it's announced this year, I will be saving up and probably forego one of my trips to potentially build a 40. Like I'll build as good of a PC that I need to run Half-Life 2 at 4K and at least 60 frames. I will do anything, and luckily Valve usually does pretty performant games. Like Half-Life 2 had a lot of really cool tricks to it to make it what it was, but I'll do what I can to play that game. That's me, guys. You bring up a really good point, Shetty's gaming and tech. Half-Life 3 comes out, or a new Half-Life game that is, let's say, demanding enough, I'm going to be building that thing out quite a bit. So let's get into some AMD graphics cards. So AMD has the new RDNA 4 GPUs coming out. AMD has introduced the RDNA, the Radeon RX 9070 XT and RX 9070 GPUs built on a 4 nanometer process with 2nd generation AI accelerators and 3rd generation ray tracing accelerators, which I don't know what that fully means yet until I mean, I've read articles on all this stuff, but until I read more in-depth stuff or more stuff's been released, I am not like, this is all marketing jargon. So we're not going to go too deep into this. And some of the stuff you guys can pause and read if you want. But the performance expectations, it's like the 9070 XT is anticipated to rival Nvidia's RTX 4070 Ti. And the thing is, like, they're moving their new, so they're changing their naming scheme for their graphics cards. So their newest cards are going to be 9070 series is how they're going to name that to match it. I 100% back this. I'm for this. I am not necessarily for the XT and RX naming scheme, but whatever. So the 9070 XT is anticipated to rival NVIDIA's RTX 4070 series. Well, It's AMD, that's in the past. Like the 5070 is coming out, and the 5070 Ti, and price to performance, I have a feeling they're saying that like this is that they're going to lose to the 5070. Because, but maybe they don't. I don't know. Maybe they couldn't leak anything, but we'll see. Them comparing it to the 4070 though doesn't give me a lot of hope. I would hope that their current gen would beat out a 2-year-old card, but we'll see. I mean, it gives me hope. It gives me hope. We'll have to see what the prices go for. AMD is also releasing their 9070 and 9070 XT cards in Q1. So they're going to be competitive enough with Nvidia, which is good. And they're going to be coming out with their FSR4. Or have they already come out with that? That's not what the newest one is it? I think Coulter mentioned this. But FSR4, I actually like the FSR series. I actually use it depending on what game, but some games can get really bad with blurring, right? FSR4 delivers high quality 4K upscaling with significant improvements in performance and quality compared to previous generations, which I'd hope so, just like DLSS. From my understanding, DLSS does a little bit better, but FSR is open source and is not usually, I think this generation, like FSR4 is tied to the 9000 series graphics card, or to RDNA 4, that is. I don't think FSR4 will be useful or be able to be used by older graphics cards, older than the 9000 series or RDNA 4, I believe so. If it's RDNA 3 or 2, I don't believe they can use FSR4 new capabilities. I'm wondering it has to do with some of the I don't know if they call them tensor cores, or they're like they're essentially their AI cores, however you want to put it, because they have AI cores. Like that's the big thing with processors, and they're very proud about this, because the Ryzen AI Max series, which, damn it, stop naming these things in weird ways. AMD unveiled the Ryzen AI Max and AI Max Plus processors featuring up to 16 Zen 5 CPU cores, which is cool, and 40 RDNA 3.5 compute units targeting a high-performance mobile computing. This is their new, I think they've released them already, but this is like the new Ryzen AI Max series is doesn't even do RDNA 4, which is kind of interesting. I'm sure they'll come out with some new stuff, but it's NPU, that's what it is, which is neural processing unit. So NPUs are kind of like the more terminology of what you'd use for machine learning and these learning things. GPUs are starting to get some of them. CPUs are starting to, like, CPUs are definitely getting them, and APUs all around. Like, you're going to probably start seeing a lot more APUs, and I would be shocked if we didn't see more a less dedicated GPUs and more just fully contained APUs, which honestly I think that's what I want. I would love them to be able to build the perfect APU for what you want to do. Let's say, oh, hey, you want to be maxed out. Here's the freaking $4,000 APU that you can buy. You don't have to worry about. Obviously, there's a lot of things that come with that, with memory sharing and everything, but it would be nice. It'd be nice to see them start to go that route, and then only having like a couple of SKUs for it. Wishful thinking, I'm sure. They're using unified memory architecture now. Like they said, these processors include a neural processing unit, NPUs, enabling efficient handling of AI workloads and improving overall system performance. And this is, once again, our processors. So I don't know why you put the RDNA 4 thing right here. I thought don't mind that. AMD claims the Ryzen AI Max Plus 3095 outperforms Intel's top Lunar Lake chip and Apple's M4 Pro MacBook Pro in graphics and 3D rendering, which that is freaking nuts. If the new CPU outperforms M4, it says M4 Pro, Apple's M4 Pro and MacBook Pro. I don't know if they're talking about the M4 Pro Max though, which there's another tier that they're not mentioning there, which is the highest one. But even if it outperforms the M4 Pro, that's very impressive. The M4 Pro is a very, very performant CPU. The catch probably is that the Ryzen AI Max, or whatever you want to call it, is going to probably consume drastically more power than the M4. The M4 is just super like power. It's very power conscious and very powerful. So in March 2025 is when we're going to see the 9950X 3D, some of these newer CPUs that they're coming out with. It's interesting. Some additional marketing jargon along with that. That's CES is fun, but it's got a bunch of marketing jargon. So let's go through some of this and we'll get into some. I'll read some of your guys' chats. So AMD RDNA 4 architecture, optimized, supercharged, improved, ray tracing per CUDA core or compute unit, that is. Better media encoding. Yeah, I mean that's all cool. We're expecting improvements every year or two. That's great. Like right now, some of the technologies that you guys might not like with FSR or DLSS might not be perfect, but it's incremental and it's always how it's been. So I would expect it to get maybe to a point where maybe it's acceptable. Just depends on if you want to accept it at one point. It's just at one point we're hitting a ceiling with some of like with the 4 nanometer process. That's really small. We're hitting some pretty big limits right now. We might be able to see some more shrinkage there, depending on if they change some of the material, but we'll see. So in the meantime, you might see a lot of improvements, and you know companies will have to improve, and they'll find ways to improve, and the one of the ways that they're doing is through machine learning and through AI. It's just what it is. I don't know what else to tell you. There are limits to things. So this just shows a little bit like graphics performance in the class of its own with the Ryzen AI Max series. So this is the graphics performance of this stuff. So the core, which is interesting. I'm kind of curious if this does matter, but it shows like it's got a big leap over Intel. But what does that mean? Until we get raw numbers, this is just jargon that I want to throw in there. What I am more excited for, and by the way, welcome Satanic, and we'll get to you guys chatting in a second. What I am excited for is AMD handhelds. They are looking really, really good. In the sense of, I mean, I want Nvidia to enter the chat on this, like enter the race. I want like a nice Nvidia, AMD, and even Intel kind of just battle again amongst handhelds. And I think we're going to start getting there. I think honestly, like I have a feeling that the this other stuff is going to start to shrink. Like people are going to buy a little bit less of the top dog things and buy more of the handhelds and stuff to support their handhelds. For me personally, my perfect thing would be an eGPU mixed with, excuse me, a dock with my handheld and have it work great. Like 5070 Ti. If I get myself a 5070 Ti, eGPU enclosed and all that other stuff attached to, maybe it wouldn't make sense. I don't know with an AMD APU, but let's just say it. Awesome. And in fact, I'd probably play on my TV a lot more to do it that way. So the Ryzen series, the Ryzen Z2 series processors, AMD announced the Ryzen Z2 series processors for handheld gaming PCs, including the Z2 Extreme, Z2, and Z2 Go, which I think is a Legion Go specific version of it, which is probably going to be more like the Z1 Extreme, but maybe just a newer architecture potentially, each with a varying specs. Specifications to cater to different performance needs. We will be getting into the whole Legion Go stuff very soon. We're going to be getting into a lot of Legion Go, Steam Deck, SteamOS stuff very soon. The Z2 Extreme specifications, the Z2 Extreme it combines Zen 3 and Zen 5C. Zen 5C? I'm wondering if that's a typo. Interesting. I wonder if I put them as a typo. CPU cores with the RDNA 3.5. And it must have been like Zen 3 and 5. I don't know. RDNA 3.5 graphics offering enhanced performance for demanding command. It's still, once again, the RDNA 3.5. I was kind of hoping for the 4 to be in the Z2 Extreme, but it's not baked full yet. They're going to be coming out with the 4 later this year, I think. And Steam Deck, if you guys didn't hear, Valve has announced that they will not. Oh, okay. Lomkey says the Zen 5C is the lower power cord, if I remember. Okay, power cores. Okay, yes, that makes sense. Yeah, and Valve's not going to be doing a Z2. Like, we knew that they were going to be doing a Z2 anyways. Steam Deck clarification. Despite initial announcements, Valve confirmed that there will be no Steam Deck featuring the Z2 series processor, indicating a miscommunication during the briefing. Yeah. I mean, if I would have heard that during the briefing, I would have been very questioning that, because we know that AMD and Valve worked. They worked together on the original Steam Deck to make their own custom chipset, own custom APU. They're going to be doing the same. Most likely for Steam Deck 2, they're going to be doing the same. It's going to be more powerful than the Z2. They're not going to just go from what they have to the Z2. Now, that being said, I really do think they need to come out next year, like with a Z3 kind of style graphics level, like performance level. I'm hoping 2026 is when we get a Steam Deck 2. I think it'd be really smart of them, but at the same time, they could open up SteamOS and not have to worry about competition, or just not worry about it. Yeah, so we'll be going over a couple things. Like, definitely, like, the top dogs to look for are the Legion Go, ROG Allies, Steam Decks. Those are kind of like the top handhelds right now. There's other ones, but I just haven't heard them dethrone these 3. So I don't even know, did we go over price much for these? I don't know if we did, so I don't. We'll kind of skip that. Will AMD keep up? AMD versus Nvidia. Which one do you guys like more right now? Sounds like some of you guys are going to be sticking with AMD. Me personally, I'm going to probably stick with whatever card is going to support, and me playing around with my new Steam OS device this year. I want to see if the SteamOS will support eGPUs. So when we get, who knows, right? So when we get the Legion Go S Steam Edition, will it be able to do an eGPU? And that is very intriguing for me. Very intriguing. So we'll see. Okay, I'm going to read you guys' comments. Excuse me. Lumkey, just think AMD makes a GPU faster than Nvidia by using AI run by Nvidia GPU servers. Oh gosh, that'd be hilarious. So just looking at these. Crumply Borg. So when it comes to the Z2E, if ASUS releases an Ally with an 8-inch screen, then I will be buying one. But if it's another 7-inch Ally, I won't be upgrading because it has a Z2E. Okay. Because so yeah, the 8-inch is a very big deal for me too, actually. Yes, Raichi, Sony is making a Helldivers movie, which is awesome. I'm actually down for that. Hopefully they don't mess it up. Crumply Pork, it's the 2025 XG mobile dock from ASUS. Oh, okay. Let's look that up in a second. Did they announce it? I'm assuming they announced it since it's 2025. Foombuter, welcome. Goodest of all evenings, everyone. Yes, welcome. AMD could have come out of nowhere with a frame generation interfration. I don't know. It would give more life to the console PC high red. Every time that they do something that is backdated, they can give more life to their APUs, which I actually think is very good branding. Anytime that they can come out with something that can improve the performance of even past devices is very big. That's why I like FSR. Even though a lot of people don't like it, I like FSR. Yes, Wolf, a lot of OGs are here tonight. And some new faces, which I love seeing. Fubuter, I think it's cool tech, but I'll probably skip out this year for all the shiny stuff. I get you on that. This year is going to be my year of maxing out probably like varying different stuff. I probably won't be getting the best of anything this year, but I will probably be getting mid-range stuff. Most likely. We'll see. Quilter, Valve promises a SteamOS beta for multiple handhelds. They did. Let's get into that. We're going to get into the devices first for the Legion Go. So the Legion Go 8.8 inch 2, the Legion Go 2, I don't know why. This spec sheet right here is coming from, let's see if I can move my face, is coming from the source, from Lenovo's website. Legion Go 2, 8.2 or 8.8, their prototype. It's probably going to be this, to be fair. It definitely looks sleeker. It's going to be a little bit more compact than the original, which I'm all for. It's going to definitely still be heavier than like the Legion Go S, which I think is going to be their more lightweight on-the-go system. The displays, you can see the differences here is that the Legion Go 2 is going to have an OLED. And it's going to be at 1920 by 1200, which I think that's actually, isn't that less resolution? I feel like the other one had 1600 based LCD, but no matter. Like 8.8 inch, 1200p screen OLED, like awesome. It's 16 by 10, which supports SteamOS really well, which I think they've been doing 16 by 10 anyways, is the last one. So, and both of them kind of go that route, except for the Legion Go S, which are supposed to be, I believe, just like the Go 2 is probably going to be $900. Let's just probably bet on that. It's probably going to be $900. It's going to be their flagship, which is very tempting. So, but then you have the Legion Go S, and the Legion Go S powered by Steam. And the only two differences are the colors and the operating system. Everything else is going to be, yeah. The Legion Go 2 starting out at like 30, or not starting out at 32 gigabytes is kind of interesting. They're going to have a 16 and a 32 gigabyte version, it looks like. And it looks like those versions will probably match with the 512 and 1 terabyte SSD. Same thing probably with the Go S, is that they can go up to 32 gigabyte, which I'll be honest, I would like that. I think I'd like 32 gigabytes a little bit more, but the performance on those, Go S's don't quite give me a lot of confidence that you'll need the 32 gigabyte. But once again, I think a Z1 Extreme could benefit from a 32 gigabyte. I have played games where if I had a little bit more memory, it would have been very useful. And I know this because I've used, it wasn't a Z1 Extreme, but I've used an APU that was pretty powerful in my GPU Win Max 2, where I had 30 gigabytes of RAM and ran some games much better than my Z1 Extreme 16 gigabyte Ally. It's not even Ally X, just the Ally. And so it's interesting to go with the Z1 Extreme, though. Let's just say that. It's interesting, too, that it's going to have 8 cores. Well, this is up to a Ryzen Z1. I do think that they're going to do a Z2 Go also. They don't mention that here, but I do think the Z2 Go is going to be in this. And I'm assuming the Z1 Extreme is more powerful than the Z2 Go, which is interesting. If you can get it close, like if it's only a little bit more faster, the Z1 Extreme, I might go with the Z2 Go personally. But they don't tell us exactly what series and everything this is all is. Including, this is the 7000 series, which that's another interesting thing. Z1 Extreme with this, I don't know, like this is from Lenovo's website, so a little confusing. Now the Legion Go 2, you can see it right here. This battery is freaking awesome. 74 watt battery. Definitely gonna be a hefty little thing. It doesn't does the Ally X have 80 watts? I think the Ally X has 80 watts. Still doesn't beat it, but like 74 is awesome. That's pretty good. 55 watts, it's okay. It's okay. Looks like 3-cell rapid charge express supports 60 minutes to 85, which is great and all. Sure. It's going to have a micro SD card slot, of course, USB 4. It looks like two USB 4s and audio jack and all the good stuff. So it's going to be able to handle an eGPU. It doesn't have anything else that would support higher bandwidth, but it is what it is. These are also, the S's have front-facing speakers, and I'm still not sure on the Go 2. That is one of the things I don't like about the original Go, was the speakers down and up. So that will determine whether or not I get the S or the 2 too. Also, that'll be a big part of it. Also interesting that they're not going with a Wi-Fi 7. They're going with a Wi-Fi 6E and not future-proofing it, but it is what it is. Like, the Wi-Fi 7 is out, and they could put it in. As far as the Legion Go S, you guys can pause and read it if you want. I just threw this on here to like have some extra reading material for you guys, but it essentially goes over what I just went over. Then you have the Go 2, like we talked about. And I'm just going to go to the one I'm most excited for. So the SteamOS version of the Legion Go S is going to be $500 starting out. I don't know what configuration that's going to be. Probably the Z2 Go with 16 gigabytes. But it sounds like they're going to go up to 32. So we'll see. I don't know if that's going to be dependent on, I don't know. But it's going to be interesting. Let's just say it's going to be interesting to see where this goes. I'm very excited for this. I have their contact information. I am going to be contacting Lenovo and just see, maybe I can get something from them, a test unit or something. We'll see. No promises or anything like that. I believe these are going to come out May, right? So April is when SteamOS beta is going to be coming out, so you could download it. It will be mostly ready for April. So future Valve. So this is the SteamOS section. Valve is expanding SteamOS beyond the Steam Deck, allowing installation on other handheld devices starting in April 2025, which is pretty awesome. And that means you could download it and put it on another device of yours, and it. Honestly, if it's AMD, it will most likely run. They're probably not going to support desktop or other manufacturers yet, like Nvidia and Intel. Just plan on that. I'm sure you could do it yourself, and it wouldn't be too hard, but we'll see how they do it. We will have to see. The first third-party, Lenovo's Legion Go S, will be the first authorized third-party handheld running SteamOS, launching in May 2025 at $499. Which I honestly, what do you guys think of that price? I think it's a pretty decent price. I think for a I see it as a Steam Deck 1.5. It's not a Steam Deck 2. It's not the Steam Deck 1. You're going to be losing some functionality. If you like those trackpads on the sides, you're losing functionality. But if you want a bigger screen, if you want more power, so you can play most games instead of almost like right now, the Steam Deck is stuck in this hard spot. It most likely, if the game came out in the last 3 years, there's a 50-50 chance it will be able to play it at a decent frame rate. In my opinion, like one that I'm willing to sacrifice, like 45 frames average that dip down into the 30s is fine. I can deal with that. Anything else, it gets really frustrating after a while. So I'd rather play an older game. If I can get most, if not all, newer games to play at that, then I might buy this. If not, then I'm going to try to get a free one. We'll see. Or at least something, even if they gave me one and I can send it back, I don't care. Valve aims to maintain a unified platform, ensuring streamlined firmware updates and system access across devices. This is very interesting. So streamlined firmware updates, system access across devices. So they're opening up the platform to make sure that, like, each of these hardware developers or hardware manufacturers that is, can develop their own firmware for their devices. They'll probably have a unified firmware system, or like starting like probably something that will help pair with the operating system, which the firmware is different, than the operating system. It's gonna be interesting. Like we know that they're kind of going this route, so we'll see how they go with like Nvidia and Intel in time. They could open up and have other companies maybe, or even hire more people, like third-party open source firms or developers to work on the Steam, or like on SteamOS, the open source stuff. So as far as the Legion Go S is, it's got the 120 hertz screen. It looks like it's going to be a VR screen. We'll see though, a variable refresh rate, and up to a Z1 Extreme CPU or APU. That could, I'm still thinking that there's going to be a Z2, but I'm sure in the next few weeks or months, probably like a month, like 2 months before it comes out, we'll probably get all the information. Hopefully a little sooner, but we'll see. Valve's collaboration with Lenovo may lead to future partnerships and expanding SteamOS to more devices and promoting a cohesive gaming ecosystem. That's jargon for saying I think they'll work with Lenovo more, and I think they're going to open up to ASUS and some other companies potentially. Honestly, I foresee this device doing actually really well, and if it does, we will probably see every company work with Valve on this. And there's someone scared about this. If you guys have not read, Microsoft is planning to release a version of Windows, or at least like Windows supported UI, that is going to be on par with Xbox software. So you know how the Xbox, if you buy an Xbox or use Xbox, stuff like that, it has really good controller supported UI. And then when you try to use like the Ally X, Legion Go in Windows, it just kind of sucks. They're planning on creating a kind of a game mode for Microsoft, which I've been predicting for a while. They are very, very, very behind on this. Okay, I'll be honest. They could have had one out the first year. The Steam Deck was released and picking up popularity and everything. They could have released one that year. I don't think it's going to be that hard. They already have some systems in place. Like they could just, I'm not going to go too much deeper into that. They could have, they didn't. Okay, let's chat, guys. I missed a lot of stuff. Welcome to anyone new or has just jumped in. Just reading through chat right now just to see if I can respond to some of your guys' stuff. Rachie, yeah, you ruined it. So GeForce, you didn't ruin it, but so the Nvidia is coming out with a GeForce Now app for the Steam Deck, which is pretty cool. But also, it's one of those things where I'm like, it's cool, but is it needed? I don't know. It is cool to still see it. I would have preferred to see an Xbox app personally on the Steam Deck, but I think Microsoft's starting to get a little bit more competitive with Valve. So we'll see how it all turns out. We know that Microsoft Xbox is coming out with a handheld in the next few years. I wouldn't be surprised if they planned on a release the same year the Steam Deck 2 comes out. I could almost guarantee it. So whenever the Steam Deck 2 gets announced, will probably be not announced, but when it's announced to release. So let's say if they announce it this year for next year, which there's really high chance that they're going to do that. In my opinion, like this is all guessing, but we could see Xbox come out with something around that time. I bet you. I think they're starting to get more competitive with that. I really think they would have released an Xbox app already on Steam or maybe Valve's not letting them. I don't know. If they weren't going to go their own route and try to take over every other way they can. It will be very interesting. Raichi, the Brink does have a choose. He needs to buy the Legion Go S Violet Nebula. It's the branding. Oh my gosh. I agree with that. Raichi. I don't have a choice. It's going to be the 16 gigabyte and 512 gigabyte hard drive space for $599. Of course it is. Yeah, I won't be dual booting for me. SteamOS isn't enough of a draw for me. Mess around with dual booting. Okay, yeah. So, Crumply Pork, it sounds like for you, the Windows is just for you. You're not going to be dual booting. Your SteamOS just isn't enough of a draw for you. For me, it's the simplicity in it. It's also runs a little bit better than Windows. And also, honestly, at this point, almost every game that I'd want to play is going to play fine on SteamOS if I can have a better hardware is what it is. So if, let's say, SteamOS for desktop came out, I would be willing to just run that as my main gaming system. I'll be honest. And I really think this partnership with Lenovo to bring out SteamOS, and I think some of the craze it's getting, is going to really put Windows and Microsoft, they're gonna lose the battle at this point. Windows is going to they run the risk of losing the gaming battle. The last solidifying things that are keeping Windows from losing the battle, I think, are anti-cheat. If Valve can figure out these companies and make sure there's a big enough market share, which they're growing every year, and then they can convince these companies to make sure that they have good DRM and good anti-cheats for Linux and for their systems. Once that's in play and that Fortnite and everything is on Steam or on SteamOS or Linux, it's over. I think it's over for Windows. I think SteamOS will be the official gaming operating system, personally. I think it'll just be too easy. It's just so easy. And the nice thing about Steam is that it travels with you. It's not like these other companies where you're hearing about the old Xbox, I don't know about the Xbox, but the old Nintendo stores and stuff being shut down after a while, where you have to cache your games or you can't get access to them anymore. That's not a thing with Steam. Steam is around. I bought games when they first came out 20 years ago. I can still play those games. That's a huge selling point for me. Even if it costs more, which it doesn't, it's usually less, oftentimes, on Steam than it does on the consoles, I'd rather get it for Steam because I can play it. I don't have to buy it again. It's a huge plus. BT Maverick is 30 minutes behind, but doesn't TI short for Titan? I think it's Titanium, I think is what Wolf said. Titan. Now, the Nvidia did have Titan cards, which is a different branding. And those were $2,000, I think. Microsoft will send Assassins. Oh no, Quilter, don't do that. Yeah, but I'm having fine experience with Windows on Ally X. I don't play on the TV with my Ally X. ASUS Armory Crates works just fine. I just don't see the need to use SteamOS. Grumpy Pork, 100%. Don't use Windows or SteamOS if you don't have to. I like the Ally X and I like the Armory Crate. I think it is the best Windows handheld experience that you can get is on the Ally X. It just destroys Lenovo when it comes to usability and software. When it comes to innovation and some other stuff, Lenovo's pretty cool. So I'm really hoping that these new Lenovo devices do really well. Raichi, the SteamOS is going directly to this old AMD E1 laptop my mom bought without knowing better. Oh, interesting. Chris Lee, welcome. Icarus is planning on getting the Legion Go S this year. Homaro lols. Can I program on the SteamOS 1.5? Yeah, if as long as it can get in the desktop mode. I really don't know on SteamOS 1.5. That's way going That's a really old Steam version. Right now, SteamOS is on 3.5 or 3.4 or something like that. Like, we're on SteamOS 3, version 3, and you can program on it if you go into the Steam or into the desktop mode. You can program on any operating system that's like come out in forever. Like MS-DOS, you can program in MS-DOS. It depends on what you want to do, though. If you're doing mobile development, you're going to want a Mac. If you're doing, what just all depends what type of development. I've written Steam OS and Steam Deck specific applications, and I did it just directly on the Steam Deck, which honestly kind of sucked. So I'm glad that they're bringing out new versions. The reason why I say it sucked is because it just doesn't have the cores and the APU on the Steam Deck is more geared towards games than it is applications, and it's very telling when you start to do like actual application development. Like I did video editing on it, and I did some software development on the Steam Deck, and I hated it. And you guys can go back and watch my week of me doing that. I'm gonna have to do it again though. Crumply Pork, so don't laugh. I play a lot of Call of Duty and Fortnite on my Ally X. Nothing wrong with that. I'm not gonna laugh. If they worked on SteamOS, sign me up, because they don't, and I'm not interested in it. I totally get you, Crumply Pork. 100% not gonna laugh. I think Call of Duty is fun. I don't play Call of Duty multiplayer much, but I don't. But I like their single player, and I do want to get more into the zombies mode. And the newest Call of Duty actually looks pretty good. And I just have so many other games I'd rather play than Fortnite. It's not a Fortnite problem. This is just I have other games I'd rather play. So there's really no games preventing me from playing using SteamOS. That's why I usually am a big proponent of SteamOS. But if you rely on certain anti-cheat games, yeah, I totally get it. I also have a main PC over there, and I also have an Ally X that I can play my stuff on. So I use both. And dual booting with the SteamOS, like it would be nice for like some of these systems come out and have SteamOS and Windows dual booted. I would like to see that, but we'll see. Cool, sir. SteamOS is great once you have it set up, but fooling around with Proton versions and third-party launchers is a pain to set up. I agree with Coolzer. The third-party, like, there's a lot of good software out now that helps with that, but the third-party launchers are probably the bigger problem than the Proton versions. They've got it down pretty good on the Proton versions, at least for me. Like, I have not launched a game on my Steam Deck that has not just worked in a long time. With the kicker being Baldur's Gate 3, I'd love to play it on the deck. It just doesn't run well enough. So there's a lot of games like, I just need more performance. I'm sorry, Valve, but like, and a lot of people I know disagree with me. I want Steam Deck 2 now. I don't care if it needs to be a huge generational console-like leap. I want a more performant Steam Deck. I just do. And so the Legion Go S is promising, but the architecture is an older architecture, so I'm a little worried about that. Rachie, do you imagine how easier it would be to remote play on a SteamOS PC? Yes. I don't know, Rachie. I'd assume it'd be easier, though. Halo Infinite runs great on the deck, and that game is in a great place right now. Yes, BT Maverick, it does run great on the deck. Well, honestly, like, I am impressed with that one. And it's a fun game. Halo, it's a fun game on the deck. Felipe, would the Legion Go S be a good entry point for someone who doesn't have a handheld at the moment? Yes. The Legion Go S would be a good entry point. So just to go back, Felipe, this right here is going to be very similar to, like, let's say if you get the SteamOS version, if you don't care about like Fortnite or some other online games, this would be a very good device to get for playing most things. I have to see benchmarks, but I'm assuming it's going to be able to play 90% of the games out there that are like released in the last 10 years. There's edge cases, but we're not going to get in like popular games. The Windows version, or this is actually two, the Windows version, which is white, is going to be able to play pretty much everything you're going to be able to throw out. And they're probably both going to come in around 500. This one could be 600. I don't know how much OEM Windows costs. I don't think it's $100, but who knows? We'll see how much this one comes out, because I don't know, unless chat can tell me otherwise, how much this will cost. The Legion Go 2, though, you can pretty much bet that because they're going to have a 16 gigabyte version, it's probably going to come out at the same price as the Legion Go 1, which was what, $799, and then $1,000 for the Legion Go 2 32 gigabyte version. Probably it's probably going to go up like I'm hoping $200. Like $1,000 is a lot, but I might be willing to slap down $1,000 for the Legion Go 2 if I know I can get SteamOS on this thing, and it will run fine and everything. Once again, a little bit of an exception of speakers. I want more speakers. Let's just be honest. I sound so like a raving lunatic. I want better speakers. I want front-facing speakers. They can embed these into the right here, but usually there's a notch, and I don't see one. So this could just be a prototype, but there's a good chance that the speakers down here or up here. I believe they were up here on the previous, and they didn't sound too bad compared to like Ioneos, but I've had Ioneo devices with the downward facing speakers. I hate it with a passion. All the best speakers are front-facing. So we'll see. That is a big one for me with the Legion Go 2. Well, I'm gonna ask Lenovo for whatever I can get. Hopefully they'll give me something. A little bit of scraps for me. For multiplayer Steam Deck game, for a multiplayer Steam Deck games, BT Maverick is talking about for Halo. Lomkey, if Legion Go with SteamOS is in stores, can be a big thing. I don't disagree. You want Steam Deck 2. There are many other out there that want it too. I want it like that. It's just me. But if you give me a device that's going to be like the Steam Deck, I can live without the trackpads. I know a lot of other deck, like I don't consider myself a deck creator per se, but I do heavily lean into the Steam Deck sphere, but I slowly getting kind of out of that. I still will focus a lot on it. As long as it is similar to the Steam Deck enough, which form factor wise and everything else kind of seems like it's similar enough, I'm not going to use those trackpads. It is nice for navigating the desktop mode, but I don't get on the desktop mode much. And if I do, I just hook up my mouse and keyboard. I've been doing it for years now. So yeah. Now let's go into some, like, I'll answer a couple more, or like read a couple more comments, and then we'll go into the fun stuff that happened. You guys can read this. Like, I put the words down there just for you guys to not have to listen to me all night. Quilter, once enough devices have SteamOS user base, software companies will implement the Valve anti-cheat fix. I agree with that, Quilter. I also think they're being a little stubborn about it, because if they did release the anti-cheat fixes for SteamOS, there's also no other reasons. Like, Linux is a much more secure operating system, and it doesn't lend as much well to kernel type anti-cheat, which is honestly bonkers that we even allow that. I mean, if we had good lawmaking in the US, if we had good lawmakers, old, like ones that weren't so old, they'd probably have some type of certain laws and like rights to like privacy, and definitely going to the kernel level and some other stuff is very violating, because they can do a lot of stuff. They can do a lot of monitoring. They can do a lot of data collections, which we kind of do have some laws on that, but I don't know. We can get into that some other time. Felipe, I've been considering getting the Legion Go S Windows version as my first handheld. Just wondering if I'd be better off with Ally X. Apologies, I have next to zero experience. Thanks for your time. Hey, no problem, man. I love answering this type of stuff, and everyone in chat I think likes it too. And they'll sometimes probably battle me for this. So Felipe, we'll have to. So if you're considering getting the Legion Go S Windows version, I would wait until it's out and then compare it with the Ally X. But if the Legion Go S, the top tier is going to be Z1 Extreme processor, and the price is going to be similar enough, you're probably going to want to go with the Ally X. The Ally X is going to have a bigger battery, and it's going to have and it's got better software. We'll see. Sorry. We'll see if the Legion Go improves, like with the S and the 2 with their software, but the ASUS Ally just has better. Like the Armory is a much better software for. You get into Windows and then you have like a almost Steam OS like experience of selecting your games and everything. It's not amazing, but the plus of the Legion Go is going to have a little trackpad. Will make it a little easier to navigate Windows, but that's it. Yeah, it probably will be near the same price as Ally X, but the Ally X is going to have a bigger battery. And so my play in this is like the software is better in the Ally, most likely, unless they do some surprising stuff, and then the battery will be bigger. So, and if the price is the same, that's where it comes down to a couple of things, and we'll have to see when it comes out. The screen will be bigger on the Legion Go S. I believe it's 8 inches as opposed to 7 inches. And for like me and a lot of people out there, we like bigger. 8 inches is much better than 7 inches, in my opinion. So you're going to have to pick and choose with it all. Icarus, $599 for the 16 gigabyte RAM and $729 for the 32 gigabyte RAM models for the Windows Legion Goes. Okay, I did not know that. Just letting everyone know the Z2 Go will be more powerful than the Steam Deck, but not as powerful as the Z1 Extreme. Yeah, that makes sense, Z. Thanks for letting us know that. That's where I was kind of expecting it. Lone Key Apple. Yeah, Apple doesn't allow kernel anti-cheat too, if I remember. Yes. I don't think Apple even allows it, because that being said, they like to have control over the system. They also like to have, they're more privacy aware, even though they have some issues, they have some past things, but at this point, what company doesn't? But at least we know for sure, like Apple's at least doing something. So I don't know. It's up to you on that. Viesta, welcome, man. I got my first game for the PS Vita collection, won the bid. Nice. What game did you get, man? Chris Lee, do you ever see the price going down for the ROG Ally X anytime soon? No, Chris Lee. I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to release a new version of the Ally probably this year. They're going to release new Ally, and it's going to be Z2. Now, the Ally X could go down in price if they have a lot of surplus. There's a chance that they could. We'll see. Really depends on how much surplus they have. Is usually what will happen. They could have a huge clearance sale. I'd keep an eye out, especially when the new, because I guarantee a new Ally, like the Ally 2 or the Ally X2 or something like that's going to come out this year. Guarantee it. With the Z2 processor. These companies are used to doing laptops. So just remember, like, you might get frustrated that they're coming out with stuff all the time, but that's how they make money, is by releasing hardware. So where, as opposed to consoles like Xbox, PlayStation, they make money off of software more than they do off their hardware, because they have licensed deals. Steam makes more money off the Steam store than they do the devices. This is just how it is. Like SteamOS going onto other devices only wins. Like, I've read articles where people are like, well, SteamOS or Valve's giving up their greatest hand of cards or whatever, like their greatest play for what they have with the Steam Deck. It's like, no, they built the Steam Deck because they wanted to showcase like how good something can be, kind of like an Apple-esque thing where they're like, this is how you make something good, and showcase their new SteamOS. But at the end of the day, they make their money off Steam, like off Steam sales. So. And it's much more profitable, I can guarantee you, to support Steam, especially with how much money they take, which is a lot, as opposed to hardware. They just have to support infrastructure that they've already been supporting for decades. They have the price compared. Like, it's just, yeah, it makes sense. Crumply Pork, if you go with the Ally X, I highly recommend a 4 terabyte SSD, but it's not necessary, and only do it if you feel confident in opening up the device. It's not too hard to upgrade the Ally X, which is nice. And I think a lot of these devices are just doing better at having better sized SSDs, and also having, yeah, I agree. Like I used to go with the mantra of you can buy as many of the micro SD cards as you want and swap them out just like a game cartridge you would. You know how many times I've used those ones I've bought since I bought the OLED? Pretty much zero. I need to go back through and probably reformat some of them and just turn them into just extended and just won't swap them out. I'll probably have, maybe I'll even buy the new like a 2 terabyte micro SD and just have like 4, because I have 2 terabyte in my Steam Deck and it's awesome. I just have 4 terabytes and I'll play games, beat them, uninstall and install new ones. Like that's how I'm probably gonna go. Fiesta, Ratchet and Clank trilogy, next going to be the Jack and Daxter trilogy. Oh, you bought all of them. Okay, that's awesome for the PlayStation Vita, the PS Vita. That's a pretty good device. I really like the PlayStation Vita. And those are really good games. So good call on those, Fiesta. Rachie loves their Steam Deck, but for now, my phone is my primary gaming device. I got a new gamepad for it, and it's amazing. Ooh, what gamepad did you get, Rachie? You should throw it my way. Maybe I'll contact him and do a review on it, because I do want to start doing some more reviews. Rachie, Valve is like a group of students showing off their new project. 100%. They are cutting edge, love the building of new things and shiny things. I would love to take a note from them and build some of my own stuff that's more shiny, but one person as opposed to a whole team. Chris Lee, what do you think about the Switch 2 when it comes out? I am not very anxious. I just don't. We'll talk about that at the end. Let's go through a little bit of the weird and quirky things of CES real quick. So mechanical switches and bread. So these are bread-based mechanical keyboard, which I don't think I could do this because I get really hungry and just eat it. Especially since I'm working out more and I'm calorie counting, I get a little bit hungry now. A little bit more hungry. So I think this is fun. If they sent this to me, I'd roll with this for a while. Maybe. Okay, I've been using a keyboard for most of my life, like 80% of my life. And I still sometimes have to look at the keys to see where I'm at. I think I'd screw this one up too much, but who knows? Muscle memory, man. Here's some other weird ones we can talk about, and then we'll move on to maybe some other stuff. Crumply Pork, here's a question I've always wondered. If my Ally X dies and I buy another Ally X and put the SSD from the dead Ally X to new Ally X, would it just work? It should just work, but the Windows operating system is tied to the motherboard manufacturer, so I don't know. I haven't actually tried that in the with Windows 11. Crumply Pork, I would assume so. I would assume that it should transfer over fine. You might, if it's a new, let's say Ally X to the Ally 2X or something like that. Let's say if there's a new device that comes out, maybe you'll have some issues. You might have to reinstall drivers and stuff like that. Foombuter, I have been saving for Switch 2. Will most likely get it on launch and wait to see what next year offers before upgrading from Steam Deck. Totally understand that, Foombuter. I do this channel, so here's the thing. I'm a little bit of a different case compared to a lot of other people. Me upgrading more often is good. I have more content I can talk about. It's just good since I do this channel and everything else to get stuff. So Switch 2, I will probably end up buying it. I don't know when. If it will be when it first comes out, probably not. Unless I feel like I mean, okay, because I have so many other things I want to buy this year, and I have a limited budget. So if it's going to come out this year, I can almost guarantee it. So the Leaf. So here's some CES stuff. CES. This was at last year's, I believe, too. And Leafy Pod right here. The pots can talk to you. Like it'll tell you when it's thirsty and some other like soil stuff. It's interesting. It's not too weird. We get a little bit weirder when we go over to this vacuum. The Saros Z70 robot vacuum. It can pick up those dirty socks, those crusty dirty socks that of teenage boys, and put them in the hamper. Actually, I think it just moves them out of the way. I really don't know where that moves them to. Like, I've watched the video on this thing, and I'm just like, no, I don't know. Like, it has a waste bin, I think, that you program to where it puts it. It's just to clean, so it can vacuum and then clean up. Like, it's not going to clean up a lot. I like where they're going with this. But I have a lot of blankets that get scattered. Like, my kids will love to bring their blankets in and put them on the floor. This isn't going to help with me. With kids, this is not a very helpful device. Once they can start picking up their toys and it's big enough to and weighted well enough to pick up my kids' toys, this would definitely be like worth it. I just think by the time they come up with something like that, my kids are going to be grown up. So yeah, really cool. I really like where they're going with this. I have no clue what the price is on this, and it's probably going to be super expensive. But it goes down into the device actually. So it will lay like the top thing will lay flat, and then it opens up, and the arm comes out. It's like a freaking Mars rover cleaning arm, which is. Would I buy something like this, and will this maybe come out? I don't know, but the concept is really cool, and I love, this is the thing I like about technology. And sometimes, especially over the past few years, I'm like, well, what's the practicality of this? I forget sometimes. I really wish we didn't worry about the practicality or worried about the cost of things. Sometimes we have a really big research budget. That's what I want more and more of. I love to see the progress of things, and that's how we get iterative progress. Is this practical? To an extent, it is. I think if you're a single dude and you don't make too much of a mess and you want something to vacuum for you so you don't freaking die, and I only say that because I need a vacuum like almost every day with the construction around here. It helps with me. This would be nice. But someone with kids, probably not. Then you get the Dream X50 Ultra right here, which little legs pop out. I mean, we're getting to the point where if these were a combo, it's just like they're making better rovers, almost like prototype rovers than the rovers. So they could, in 10 years, I predict we're going to be sending our vacuums to Mars. I mean, obviously the rovers have like redundancy systems and stuff like that, but still, we're going to be sending our rovers to Mars. This thing has little legs, little wheels that pop up, and it can go over edges or go upstairs. I don't know how, it's got to extend up quite a bit more, but it can go upstairs. This thing can go upstairs. Raichi, can it clean tissues-filled rooms for teen boys? Yes. Crusty stocks, it picks them up even better. Then you get the Open Droid R2D3, not R2D2. R2D3. I'm really curious where they're going with that name. Like, whatever. So I didn't look into this one too much, but this one could do like, it could open a can of soda. It can help around the house. It does not have legs. I think this is just a demo thing. I'm sure there's going to be legs attached to it at one point. We're seeing humanoid robots more and more every year. And this is the part where they're already starting to do this, replacing some workers with some robots. Like manual labor. I'm not on if I was on my other channel, I'd be using a little bit spicier language. I don't have a lot of hope in the future of like enough jobs for everyone in like 20 years. Like, sorry, it's just not. I will be close to retirement. I won't be in retirement, but I'll be close to it, which even sucks more because I'll be even more screwed. Here's the thing. There's going to have to be something that replaces this. And I'm not going to get into politics or anything like that, but you're going to have a value-added tax added to these or a tax based on how many workers of these robots you have so you can support the workers that will not have jobs. I can pretty much guarantee you that we're going to be losing a lot of jobs over the years. Like we're in the software engineering field, it's already happening. It's a massacre right now. Anything else weird you guys saw? We can. I'm going to go to the Discord and grab some more stuff. I'll save that for like a different thing. It's just talking about. I've already kind of talked about it. This is just talking about CPUs, GPUs, NPUs. Intel talked about this, about it being the future, and I agree with them. I think you're going to start seeing a lot more APUs, all-purpose units, where you're going to have the compute, graphical, and neural processing units all built into the APU. And I would be shocked if we didn't start seeing it more like this. I think MacBook's doing a great job of that. Let's see. Here's a question. I've always wondered if my LIX dies and okay, we already read that one. Raichi, it's a cheap AliExpress gamepad. GameWing IOBing Max. What I love about it is the aux output port on it. Oh, really? I don't use auxiliary. I am 100% Bluetooth, man. The Icarus, I'm buying the Switch 2 after launch. Nice. Can it clean the tissue? Okay, yep. Lols. So I have two joysticks, VKB Gunfighters. It's a 32-bit ARM-powered Enjoy 32 controller and USB 2. Will it be compatible with SteamOS 3.5? For the SteamOS, Windows has just crossed the line. For the SteamOS, Windows has just crossed the line. Like, are you saying you're done with Windows? The joystick, I have no clue if that joystick's going to be compatible. If it's USB, if it comes up as a controller and you can configure it in SteamOS, then it should work fine. I don't know beyond that, lulz. Like, if you can install Linux on a device, or if you can go and plug it into like a Steam Deck or like a Linux device, that's where your real kicker is. Does it work on Linux? Because if it can work on Linux, it will work on SteamOS, even if you have to download the drivers or install the stuff separately. That's a hard one. Like when it comes to the hardware and that type of thing, it's a 50-50 chance it works. Really depends on how well they built the firmware in it and the compatibility layer. I don't know. That's not how you say it, but whatever it is. Crumply Pork, robots doing manual labor is scary for our workforce. It is. It is. But here's the thing. I'm for it, but we got to stop fighting about everything else and actually fight about things that affect all of us, and that's one of them. That's all I'll say about that. Raichi, we're all going to become streamers. Hey, I'm down. Honestly, there's a reason why I do this more and more. I am a software engineer. I have been doing it for almost 15 years. I do like technology. I like handhelds. I like gaming. I also do some game development. I'm working on a game, and I'm doing this type of thing. Like, I'm going to be doing this more too. As I get more energy and better, as I'm doing better every day, I feel like I will be doing this more, and I'm going to have multiple avenues of revenue. Like, I'm just going to have to. And I think a lot of people are going to have to weather the storm in the future. Okay, so Lomki, South Korea, 10% workforce are robots. Yeah. And just think of that. That 10% of robots are the test trial. Like, that they're using that to get all the data. Every year they're going to be upping that every year. And it's going to be the way capitalism works is it will just replace everyone. Just how it is. Don't know what else to tell people. Cascoder, welcome. Hello, I'm here on time. Yes, you are, Cascoder. I got to tell you, Cascoder, off the console, we do not do live streams. That one time was a fluke. So I'm sorry. But in the future, I think we'll work on potentially doing like one episode that's live, but it might be a special or something like that. Okay, not a second too late. Cascoder, exactly. Cascoder, I put my money down for the early backer tier for the MagSafe game controller phone case thing. Ooh, on Kickstarter. Ooh. Hey, Cascoder, can you throw a link to that in Discord and I'll get to it? Hey, why has no one created a PS style controller with a trackpad to work on Windows when playing a handheld on a TV? Are you talking about like this? like the trackpad on the PlayStation. I mean, you can just buy one of these. As far as, yeah, I don't know Crumply Pork, though, on that. Rachie, I believe GTA 6 will last 20 years. It would be a great time to invest in Rockstar. Honestly, yeah, you're probably right. I think it's a good time to invest in Rockstar and Nvidia. And Nvidia is crazy that I'd even say that, because I think their stock is overvalued. And they're going to be the most profitable, or like they're going to be the most highest valued company in the world at this rate, which is crazy. Okay, let's not look at what I'm doing there. They're going to get mad at me. Okay, let's see here. Look. Yes, guys. Don't mind me. Okay. So Rachie, I believe Rachie, you're the one that promised to play this, right? Or was it Lomke? I can't remember the Lomke or Rachie. One of you guys promised. Okay, you're not. You always mess around with Hello Kitty Island Adventure. What's coming? You guys are going to be playing Hello Kitty Island Adventure soon. Would I play it? I'm sorry. There's just no chance you're going to get me to play this. And this is why the reason why I bring this up is because it's an inside joke. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. Cascutter, can you throw it into like the not DM? I don't like to go into DMs on stream. Okay, here we go. So Crumply Pork, I believe you're the one that asked about this, right? The ROG XG Mobile, more than a graphics, less to carry. Is this still the proprietary system? I thought they went away from the proprietary system. Is this the new one? No, let's see. That's a 2023. Okay. Still, it's the same model. We're going to look that up. ROG, let's see, ROG Mobile GPU, eGPU. Was it this one right here? That is freaking small. ASUS just announced the world's first Thunderbolt 5 eGPU. That's crazy awesome. The cool thing about Thunderbolt 5 is it has a big stability increase. Like I don't think the bandwidth between 4 and 5 are like increased much. I think the stability. So very, very cool to see that. I like this. I actually really like this device. The side makes it look cheap. I'm not going to lie, but the front looks cool. The smoky black translucent box isn't a gaming PC. Instead, it's a... See if we can get this thing to expand out. Oh, it's in hardware news? Okay. Oh, nice. Okay, we'll get to that in a second. So... it promises to add a power of NVIDIA's top GeForce 590 mobile chip, which is cool. That's going to be so freaking expensive. Up to 140 watts of electricity and 2 monitors. And that, I'm curious how that 5090 is going to work with just 140 watts. But yeah, 2 monitors, USB, SD card reading. I mean, it has it comes with a bunch of stuff. Like, this is what I want. This is what I want, and I want this to work with my bloody Steam Deck one day. There's a couple other companies that have eGPUs, and I'm really down for this. Like, I really want these eGPU style almost docks where I can dock one here and I dock one out there. I can use one device. This is my dream, is to have a Steam Deck 2 that's powerful enough to be able to program on, to do all my other stuff on, to be able to plug into my eGPU that's at my desk or at my other place, and have different software, different what. I want to be portable. I want to have one device for gaming and for that type of side of things. And I want my other device to be like Mac for my other things, everything else. I'm going to be running with both. So I love it. I think this is the future, but I am a little worried that people don't buy them very much. Even though I really do think that it's worth it if you don't, like, if I'm being honest, I would actually recommend people to probably not build a PC and to just get themselves a pretty powerful handheld and an eGPU. I can't fully recommend that path yet because I need to test it out fully. I've tested out eGPUs in the past and they were okay, but I want to test it. Here's the thing, Rachie. Streaming is cheaper, but I honestly don't like the experience with streaming, Rachie. I just really don't like it as much. I'll do it when I need to, but I actually prefer playing things locally. I will stream things locally from like one computer to another in my house, but going outside, I'd rather try to I like this concept. No, I played Infinity Nikki. Well, Rachie, yeah, we know that. Crumply Pork, yeah, but with the PS trackpad work to control the mouse in this, I think you can get software to do it on Windows. I think, as far as on like something like the Steam Deck, I don't think so. I could be wrong though. Yeah. Crumply Pork, no Thunderbolt 5. I don't know if this is backward, connects to Thunderbolt 4 also. So this is backwards compatible, but if you want even better experience, it is able to connect to a Thunderbolt 5, which is good. Good. I like to see that. I like to see backwards compatibility there. Yeah, no problem. It's in hardware news. With all these handhelds on the market now, I'm really not too interested in the Switch 2 at the moment. Z. I'm only interested in the Switch 2 for the games. I'll be honest. Like, I would not buy a Switch if Mario was on Steam. And I know that like Nintendo's not going to do that. They'd have to start to fail to do something so drastic. And they might even rather fail than do that, maybe. I don't know. And with how successful the Switch is, I don't see them having any, like, they're going to do the Switch 2. The Switch 2 is going to be, we've already seen leaks of it, which we can pull something up. It's already been super successful. I don't see it going anywhere. Do you think going to school to study game design or development is still worth it? Lols. Lols, I don't know what to say. That's a really, really hard question. I went to college for software engineering. It was a game changer because I could get paid a lot more starting out than most other fields. Nowadays, people that graduate in software engineering or computer science are having a near impossible time getting a job. The market is completely effed hard. It's bad. It's bad. It's really bad out there. Game development is also bad, but it has, I think, a saving grace of, I think studios are opening up. Indie's doing better. Like, if you think you're going to go into an indie studio or go into like AA, and don't mind making less than like, let's say a software engineering or maybe some of like more businessy esque fields, then go that route. Then go game development. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm a game developer too, and like I haven't. Well, okay, I'll call myself a game developer once I release my first game. I'm developing a game right now. I do think the game development market is doing a little better than the software market, but software market has a lot more opportunities. So, depending on the school. So, okay, we'll solidify this, lols. Depending on what school you plan on going into game design or development, will also affect what I'd say. If it's a good school and you can use those skills in other places, like let's say game design and game management, you get some additional skill sets that you can maybe go into a software field and maybe use those. Sure, I'm always for going to school. I think everyone should go to college, at least to a point where as much as they can. Obviously, not everyone's capable, but I wish it was cheap enough or free to an extent, free, that everyone could go. I think it's important for society to do that. But at the end of the day, I don't think lesser of you if you don't. I just think it's good as a society, as a community. I'd say yes, do it, but as long as you're not going to go into huge amounts of debt. That's where I'll leave it, lols. Lols, currently at full sell. Okay, I'm not going to say anything until I know how many years you are into it. How many years are you into full sell? Crumply Pork, this eGPU hopefully will turn my Ally X into my work laptop also. Yeah, Crumply Pork, like this would turn, like, work laptop, I guess you could carry both around and then hook it up, but this is definitely worth it. Like this will be these APUs, especially like with the Ally X, are very powerful. So the CPU portion of it will be able to be just fine. Like it's pretty awesome. Quilter, now Hollywood is burning. Well, I mean, those types of fires don't usually affect rich people as much. Like if you've seen that stuff, Quilter, there's like one house that has a suppression unit that spraying water along the house and it got saved. Crazy stuff. Really crazy. If you guys know, I've seen the news, LA right now, like a good portion of it, less than half, of course, like drastically less than half of LA is burning down right now. It's crazy. Raichi, the Switch 2 will go full DLS. You think so? I think they're going to have to. I would be shocked if they didn't use DLSS. Crumply Pork, I'm really excited for the eGPU. Would be perfect for TV gaming, but I also have just bought the Rainio Air 2s to use with my LAX. That would be fun. Are those the AR glasses? Yeah, those would be really cool. I really want to try those. Wolf, did you guys know there's a chocolate factory simulator game? Oh my gosh, that sounds so tasty. Lols, half a year into it. Sorry for the question. I don't know a lot of game devs. Oh, you're good, Lols. Depending on where you live, too, is also based on this question, Lols. Depending on where you live, this is how I would do it. I would be burning that candle and I would be getting a degree that has a more basis into a specialty that you could go into game development, like psychology, stuff like that can be used in there. And then I'd be practicing and doing a lot of game development on my own and teaching yourself on your own and going that route to get into game development is personally where I would go if I was you. Full sell. I almost did full sell a decade ago, along with the schooling I was doing. I was going to do it I was going to do it too. I decided not to because I don't think they do as well as hiring people out anymore. I'm going to put it at that. I don't trust full sell. I don't want to crap on the place you're at. I would go a different route. But once again, in today's world, it's really hard. So I get you, Lols. But where you're living could also have a really good game developer program. Like if you're here, let's say you were in Utah. University of Utah has a really good program for it. That's where I would go. I would not go to full sell. If I was in Washington, there's like there's one, I think, specific school for game development that's really good. That's where Valve hires some of their developers and Nintendo hires the developers from. It's in Redmond. So it depends on where you live. There might be some better options for the same price. Cascoder, I couldn't respond for a few minutes ago as someone laid off from the game industry with a degree in game design. Avoid the AAA industry for now. Oh, 100% Cascoder. I agree with that. I definitely think you could find some studios, but they're going to be very hesitant, like indie to AA studios that might hire you kind of thing. I didn't realize you had a degree in game design. Cascoder. I thought you had it in something else. That's crazy. Lone Key, Switch 2 using an older chip depends with DLSS it's using. So Switch 2 probably will be able to use some DLSS. We'll see if Nintendo likes that, but with the way the Nintendo is and underpowered stuff is, like if they want to actually have decent graphics or certain games ported over, they're going to have to use DLSS. Cascoder, generalize your programming skills so you can bail out if needed. That's kind of what I actually agree with that. But at the same time, Cascoder, I think the software field is worse than the game field right now, actually. Raichi, Sweet Baby is a place you could make a lot of cash. Sweet, what is Sweet Baby? Fumbooter, there's an old song by Bad Religion called Los Angeles is Burning. The hills of Los Angeles are burning. Okay, I'm not singing it quite right, but yes, I know that song. It's a really good one, Fumbooter. I really like that song. Well, so I actually think that song is based on Los Angeles is burned down before, or at least partially burned down. So California's had fires in the past, and back when they were much older, like way back, they had less fires, but the fires were more devastating because they didn't have ways to control it. So Los Angeles, at least portion of it burned down before. Seattle's burned down once or twice, and they've built on top of it. And there's been a couple other cities like that in the United States. I'm sure around the world there's a lot of those. Japan, like anything that's wooden, like a lot of their wooden prefectures are like as flammable as can be. Crimply Pork, okay, it's 4 a.m. here. I'm up for work at 5:55. I best get some sleep. I've been great. Thanks for the stream. Hey, Crimply Pork, thanks for stopping by. I stream every week, and dude, you're crazy. That is a crazy time to be waking up, and I could not do your schedule. That is crazy. Have fun at work, and I'll catch you in the next videos or streams or whatever. Crumply Pork. Cool, sir. Smoke was so bad it looked like fog all day. Babylon is upon us. Okay, well, come on, cool, sir. Let's go. I've been in that type of smoke before, because we get it. I was gonna say I don't know. I think I've been outside. Sometimes the smoke, it's more in central California. If there's fires, it will come over to us. Like we get a lot of California smoke. And I'm shocked we haven't got it yet. Maybe we just have to wait a few days. Sweet Baby Inc. They are a group of people who make money by scamming game studios. They are a consultancy group for DEI. Oh my gosh, Raichi. They're a consultancy group for DEI. So God damn. So DEI is not what a lot of people think it is. The game industry might be a little bit more so with what people think DEI is, but like DEI is not really, like everyone in this chat would benefits from DEI. Okay, that's as much as I'm going to say. Okay, Fumbooter, yeah, really, it's like a prophecy or something. I used to love their growing up, and yeah, Brink, great song, great band. And you stand with Raichi with the making a lot of cash there. I still the D. I think I could do a whole segment on this. I would get a lot of people upset at me. Maybe one day I will, but today is not that day. Because I think it's a mixed bag on that. Let's see here. Lomkey, LA did cut money on firefighters. Oh, I guarantee they did, Lomkey. Like that's. Let's just say there's a lot of things coming for California that has been needing to come for a while. I won't flip that. Same with Texas. Texas power grid sucks. California has a huge growth problem, and I could get into the fires. They brought in certain types of trees that are very flammable. And that is actually one of the reasons why you've seen such an increase in fires, is because these trees, I think they're brought from Australia or something like that, like that they planted, very flammable. That's what's causing the problems. DEI consultancy, let the Cuban flag in the house of the Miles Morales and Chinese architecture and AC shadow. let the Cuban flag in the house of Miles. I mean, I don't know if does it matter though, Raichi, that like, are those like anything that are the Chinese architecture and AC Shadows is, so Chinese architecture has, and same with Japanese, they've been mixed and matched in those types of games for, oh my gosh, I forgot I have, yeah, I don't know how to do the bloom thing. Stupid thing always activates. They've been in games for a while, like misconstruing consultancies and stuff like that, or not consulting. Architecture is not new, and I don't think it has, like, that type of thing doesn't have anything to do with DEI, in my opinion. I think it's just that's my difference. Like, that's just a dumbass mistake. That's a stupid mistake. I don't think it has anything to do with DEI per se. You can still practice DEI and hire good people. That's the problem. We ran into that thing with movies. Really bad female characters, like Rey from Star Wars, the newer Star Wars. Bad character. I agreed. Was it partially because of DEI or like this whatever? Yeah, you could argue that for sure. But then you have a lot of other examples of it being good in other movies and whatnot. And you just gotta shit on the stuff that's bad. Like, at the end of the day, you got to hire good people, and there's going to be good people in every single demographic, and that's how it is. The whole point for DEI and some of these programs is to stop nepotism and some of those other programs. That's what it is. And I am, for one, do not like nepotism to a point. Just saying. If you want equal grounds to like compete and do all this other stuff, nepotism's bad to a point. So, end of rant. I'm going to stop it. It's a good program, but it can be poorly executed, and people really like to point out poorly executed stuff when they don't like something. I'll get off my soapbox. I'm sorry. I haven't gone on one of these in a while. What is that? So that's for mobile gaming. Yeah. J-Bro, this is for laptops. It's for mobile, yeah, for mobile gaming kind of. But you can have it set up to your desktop. A lot of people will do these eGPU systems at their desktop or at their TV, and then they play on the go, like on their laptop or on their handheld, and they just plug it in and they can extend it. This is one of the things that I really like and would bring me back over to Windows from Mac, potentially, even though I haven't fully gone to Mac yet. Honestly, what I'll probably end up doing is going to Linux. Gardner's probably going to talk me into it, by the way. He's gone fully to Linux. Raichi, exactly. You are paying consultants to not have those problems. I'm sorry, Raichi. Those problems occur in every single consultancy. A lot of consultancies screw everything up, and they don't have anything to do with DEI. They're just poorly ran. There's a lot of examples of that type of stuff. Wolf, J-Bro, that's the doc for external graphics. Yep. Nerdified are tempted. Nerdified, welcome. Are tempted in getting any of these reveals. Which reveals? Am I messing things up? So Crumply is going to get the one with the LAX. Yep. Rogue One was actually good. Rogue One was good. Rogue One was really good. Nerdified, are you tempted on getting any of these reveals? What reveals? These ones right here, or any of the? Oh, are you talking about the Legion Go? Yes, I am tempted. I am tempted to get the Legion Go S Steam Deck version, or I'm like, before it comes out, the SteamOS beta is rumored to be coming out. I will probably see what that's capable. Like, if I can play it on my ROG Ally, then I might go with the Legion Go 2 and put SteamOS on it. I might tempt fates and try it that way. Cascader, to Raichi's point, Miles Morales is Afro-Puerto Rican, yet the launch build showed a Cuban flag in his apartment. Yeah. That is like, if you want to go with like wokeism kind of stuff, that's like anti-wokeism. Like, that's what gets people pissed off, is when you do that type of stuff. So that's kind of my point of, I think it's incompetence, not something else. Just saying. And I definitely do think certain programs can be done poorly. This is what it is. Lumkey, Balloon telling you to play co-op with Halo Kitty Island Adventure. Exactly, Lumkey. I agree with you. It's a sign. It is. A dock for external graphics card. Is that worth to get? It's expensive. I'll have to tell you, but like if you want to play any, like this won't work with a Steam Deck. But if you have another, like an ROG Ally, actually, I don't know. I'd assume that this would work fine with other devices. But if you have an ROG Ally, yeah, you're going to get a huge increase. Like if you want to play pretty much any game at a decent frame rate, it's not going to beat like a desktop graphics card. You're going to be living life good on this thing. It is what it is. You lose some frame rates. It won't beat out. Like if you get a laptop with the same graphics card, the laptop's going to perform a little better due to latency and stuff. Wolf, I agree. We do need to have another gaming session soon. I have been like trying to just figure out my schedule, especially since I do recordings for the podcast on the weekend now. And sometimes I have to edit it and all that, and that'll take up like half my weekend. It really sucks. Well, also, how much programming do game designers do? So, are you talking about designers as in like 3D designing? Are you talking about game design as in the actual game designer that does like planning things out, developing like a game design doc that's like, hey, this is what this system does, this is what this system does. Though, like if you're I would recommend learning as much programming as possible and level design if you're going to be a game designer. That's just my opinion on this thing. Like you're going to probably have to, if you're wanting to do this as a career, you're going to probably have to hold more than one hat at a time if you work at an indie or double A. I wouldn't mind a game session. We can all play You Don't Know Jack. Hey, that might be fun, actually. Cascader Taki Udon dropped details on his PS1 FPGA system. $150 sending link in hardware chat. Dang. Oh, speaking of, we need to go look at this thing. For TGE price of eGPU, I could build a full AM4 system with 30. Raichi, yeah, no, that's true. Like for the price of some of these eGPU, well, it's not all of them, Raichi. Not all of them are that expensive. You could build a pretty beefy desktop. It just depends on what you're wanting. For me, I would like to have like the fun of both, of like having my handheld and putting it down and just not have to change out operating systems and stuff like that. Evidence, SteamOS, what do you think Xbox will do? Rumors has it that they are working on a handheld. They are working on a handheld, and I bet you around the time Steam Deck 2 comes out with one, they'll probably come out with one to be either competitive or, you know, if Sony decides to get into the game, which I think there's rumors of Sony getting into the game, but they definitely said, and this was almost a year ago. It's a year and a half. It's coming up to like 8 months since the leaks that Xbox is working on, or Microsoft's working on an Xbox handheld. They said it wasn't going to be for years. My inclination is it's expected in 2026 or 2027. That's just my opinion on it. It could even be like the next gen. Maybe they'll get away from the Xbox Series. I think they're going to be doing one more Xbox, like physical, and then that's it. But maybe they might change up their mapping, their roadmap, that is, for the future. SteamOS, what do you think Xbox will do? Rumors has working on handheld. But yes, they're working on one. As far as SteamOS on the Xbox, probably not. They'll be using Xbox's interface. Cabin Factory. Oh, Cabin Factory looks good. I agree. PT Maverick, I will need to play that. AI and Game Pass and getting people to switch to Windows 11, their main focus. Well, they're really screwing it up royally with Windows 11. But their main focus right now is AI, yes. Game Pass is a secondary, and they need to figure out how to get that more profitable, which hopefully doesn't kill a bunch more studios. As far as Windows 11, I could see them ditching Windows 11 soon and going to Windows 12 or 13 or something like that. There's a couple of rumors of all that, because Windows 11 is just getting so bloated, and I think people are just getting really frustrated. Like for me personally, like I first got there, I was like, okay, this is fine. And then I started adding all the AI stuff in. I'm like, I don't like that you're just adding this in and it's just making it all cluttered. And then on top of that, I feel like it was also causing issues with like performance. I got tired of it. So I was kind of done with it. Okay, as far as this, let's see.
This is MCon, but let me back up just a bit. Gaming sucks right now. Ever since I was young, taking the DS or Game Boy with me everywhere I went felt so freeing and fun, but now the gaming industry just feels so stagnant. How do we not have a gaming device that you can have on you all the time? I looked and looked for a controller that attaches to your phone, is convenient, and fits in your pocket. It doesn't exist. And then I realized I have a 3D printer, I can probably just make it myself. So
Using ChatGPT in the ad is crazy bonkers for this type of thing. It's like, is there any good stuff out there? Well, I mean, it is getting better than Google's. Like, there is a chance I'll be going over to ChatGPT fully than Google, but nah, that day's not yet.
Kind of stopped going to class and I started spending all my time designing this thing. Then over spring break, I put together the very first prototype and it was so much better than I thought it was going to be. So for weeks I obsessed over putting together a video. I really wanted this one to be perfect. When I finally posted it, it exploded. The comments, the paragraphs, the DMs people sent me, people wanted this thing. So I decided to make this controller a reality. I got a team together, started a company, and we called it MCon. We were able to get some investors, and then we got an engineering company to design our own PCB and get this thing ready for injection molding. Things were moving pretty fast. We were getting new prototypes, updating the design, and consulting the MCon Discord on what they wanted to see. And then things took a downturn. Prototypes stopped getting better. We were running low on investments, and there was just so many different parts to balance, and as time went on, it was looking more and more bleak. It really felt like all the time was wasted and creating this controller would be impossible. And then I got recommended this YouTube video from a company I'd actually seen a lot of.
You don't know about Snap 4.
They've kickstarted a bunch of products, and the problems they were solving just felt so simple.
Got a sister to go by the poolside. That's I'm not meaning the. This is cool. I'm impressed with how young he at least looks and all this. I just have to make fun of some of this. It's probably better than something I can make.
Mine. So with no other option, I said F it, and I messaged their CEO, Dale Backus. Then I waited and I waited. Then he actually responded. So I hopped in my car and drove 3 hours to the OSNAP headquarters in Raleigh.
Let's go. I'm so excited.
We immediately got to work ideating and improving the design, and almost instantly it was looking so much better. MCon was becoming more polished, more exciting, more functional, until we landed on the sickest design. Here's what we've done. We've added an auto sliding feature that's activated with quick launch buttons. We've made it even more pocketable. It has fold-out grips for the best ergonomics and comfort. We've added pretty much full-size Hall effects joysticks for more precision and durability. It has silent buttons for playing where you're not supposed to. The magnetic adapter puck allows you to use any phone, iPhone or Android. Plus, it slides up and down so you can center any phone. MCon is built with premium materials, designed for everyday use, and to look sleek as hell. And last but not least, repairability. I'm a huge proponent for a right to repair. I think you should actually own the things you own. So MCon is fully disassemblable with Torx screws. This allows for swappable top plates, grips, and joysticks for customization and DIY mods. Like I said before, OSNAP has successfully launched every product they've kickstarted. Dale even founded Small HD, and their products are in every major behind-the-scenes video I've ever seen. So I'm actually super confident in this launch. Producing this controller has been so much more expensive than I originally thought, and we have made I'm so excited.
I'm impressed. I actually like this. How much is it? $100, huh? That's very tempting. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Evidence, the handheld market is flooding fast. Oh, it is. It is. Here's the thing. The handheld market is flooding fast, and it'll be just like laptops and a lot of other, like, we're going to have like innovations from it, but we're also going to get maybe some stagnation. But at the end of the day, people are going to get the device that they like, and hopefully there's enough demand to go around to make sure that innovation keeps up. Just how it is. Like, it's going to be fine. Like, doesn't mean with it flooding, it doesn't mean the Steam Deck 2 is going to be bad. It doesn't mean that some of these other devices are going to be bad. It just means we have more options. The only thing I don't like is when like INEOs come out with like maybe too many SKUs at a time. It gets a little confusing. Sony closed more studios than Microsoft. Did they, Rachie? Dang. Okay, well, Sony's bad too then. Lone Key, they did use Edge. If you type Google, it's dress up like the Google page, but it's being under the hood. Yes, they did. Rachie, the patent for Ericsson Play ended in 2025. Prepare for ASUS to make a gaming phone. I thought they already made a gaming phone. Right? What kind of gaming phone do you think? I'm kind of curious on that. Coolzer, does it cut toenails? Okay. Coolzer, what is this toenail thing that you keep talking about? Is there like a CES toenail cutter, or is it that robot that you're talking about? The Razer Kishi was $100 when it launched, and this is more portable. Oh, I agree. Like, this looks much better than Raichi. Than the Kishi, that is. Not the Raichi. Raichi's up here. Not sure what I think. Great engineering. I do like right to repair. Agreed. I like it. I think it looks nice. I think it's really good of you, Cascutter, to invest in it. The trigger for it to pop open like that's a little weird, but it is what it is. I'll stop and look at it. Let's see. Like with my phone, it's like I have the MagSafe. I have an iPhone. Like, this would work great. But what phones does it work well with? Would it be okay with what phone I have? Which is the iPhone 15. It's not the 16, it's the 15. Max Pro or whatever. Silent buttons, 2 colors. Okay. This definitely won't fit in my pocket very well. It's going to be a chunky, like, people are going to be staring at my pocket, and not because I have a banana in there. They'll just be like, what the are you carrying in your pocket? But I do have a bag that I carry with me now, like a day bag, most places, just because I had too much crap in my pockets at one point. I was just like, I'm just going to carry a bag. It doesn't hold the Steam Deck. I could switch over to my one that does. This would fit in it, though, which is very tempting. I do like the concept of this. And I like that, like, you can replace things. I mean, I like the repairability. I like this. I like this device. Oh, wow. They really are shipping a lot of places. That's crazy. That's actually pretty crazy. The device to make probably isn't overly expensive once manufacturing is, let's see. Timeline? Wait, when did you buy this? When did this? Oh, this is the prototype. Okay, I thought they were like, for some reason I read that different. So they redesigned Kickstarter's launches. They plan on mass production molds. That means by the end of the year, they'll be shipping. So when they say August, plan October, November for this type of thing. They almost, who knows, maybe they'll get right on time. We'll see. I've never had a Kickstarter, I think, actually hit the date that they said they're going to hit, which is fine typically, as long as I get the device. I mean, I have until August. Like this price will go will be done. And I'll have to pay like more, but I'm okay with paying more and waiting a little longer. But I like this. I actually like this Cascador. I actually think I'll do it. The world's first affordable FPGA gaming console inspired by the PS1 supports PS1 games, memory cards, and controllers. Analog digital output. That is slick. Guys, that is slick. Sony Ericsson Play. I'll do it. I think I know what it is, unless I'm going crazy. Oh, by the way, did you watch the video breaking up with Adobe? Wait, breaking up with Adobe. Was it a game developer or like it was, I swear I saw a breaking up with Adobe video, but I don't remember who it was. Cascador, no, it does look better than Raichi. It does. Oh gosh. Evidence, same price as the Backbone, but has better hardware and easy to install. This is a great product. I like it that you could just stick it in your pocket and it pops out. That being said, I honestly I'd like to test both and do reviews on both, but we'll see. Cascador, I have a non-MagSafe phone and it will work with it. Yeah, it has an adapter that will work with it. Yep. You can get little magnets too, even if it didn't have an adapter that could attach to your phone to do it. ASUS makes the ROG phone 1 through 5. Yep. Man, purse, unite. Yes. That's one of the things Susie got me for Christmas was this right here. I like it. I use it as a sling, but I like it because it holds everything. Now that I have an inhaler that I have to take with me, I don't like sticking it in my pocket. TC, I mean a phone with the gamepad integrated. Yes. Okay. So it's right here. Do you think it beats this? Ugh. You think it beats this right here? PlayStation 1. And do you think you can do this? Wham. And have a super old, super portable LCD screen that looks not great, but it's still good. Yeah. Let's see, what do I have in here? I think I have Silent Hill. Yeah. Got my memory cards, game controllers. It hooks up with just, yeah. You know, it's pretty fun. It's a fun little, like, Silent Hill looks great on it for what it is. But you can read your memory cards. Yeah, there's other devices that can do that too. That is cool. And for $150, like, that is tempting. Like, do you think Sony is going to sue them? Like, do you think they can? Like, I'd assume that they probably had to use some type of tech or violate some type of patent to make this, right? Evidence, I'm assuming it's Bluetooth, so my phone should work. It's quick install and uninstall. It's held by a magnet, so you can put it in a separate pocket. Okay. Yeah, it should just work with Bluetooth. Yeah, I agree. It's probably just Bluetooth, and because it's so close, it's definitely going to have decent signal. James Lee's animation. Yeah, I didn't watch it. I'll watch it low key at one point. I won't watch it on stream. That'd be like the Brink kind of channel. Kind of thing. It can read your memory cards. It does. In the comments, Taki is considering reusing the OLED screen for his Switch Lite upgrade kit to build a screen since it has an expansion slot. Ooh, which Sony patent? I don't know, Raichi. But I'm assuming that they have patents on the memory card design, interfaces. I bet you have. Dude, these companies have designs on everything. So I'm just saying, I don't know, but if this is a different country, maybe they can get scoot by it, because you can on Amazon buy games, like, they get struck down sometimes, but you can buy handheld emulators. So that is really cool. I am not logged into Twitter, into X right now. Here's another thing. Here's another gripe. I am going away from FX. Like, I'm getting really tired of all the stuff. I get notified of stuff I don't want to be notified of. Like, I don't touch that stuff. I don't like it. It's making me more pissed. Blue Sky is where I'm going to be going, guys. I might still play around with X, but I eventually will be gone. Okay. Lumke, not sure Sony can sue them unless they break a patent. Yeah, that's my point, is that they, in order for it to run, they could be breaking. There's a lot of stuff that they could potentially be breaking. But we'll see. So the Sony Ericsson player, I don't think I had this, the Xperia Play. That was like the PlayStation in your hand. I had a Sony Ericsson. What was it? I bought it in Russia. It was like this red one. But it wasn't this red one. But damn, that really brings back memories. Sony Ericsson with camera. It might have been a Europe-only model. Oh, I think I might even have it somewhere. I hope I still do. Oh, man, that brings back memories. There, Chris. Well, I'm going to head out. See ya later, man. Yeah, we're going to be heading out. I'm going to be heading out here in a second. Not sure Sony can sue them. Man, the screen came in handy at times. Yes. Lomkey, I'm on Mastodon, but most people are over Blue Sky. So Mastodon and Blue Sky are actually very similar. You can host on the main or you can have your social, create your social and have it be on the main Mastodon network, or you can have it be on a sub network. Same thing with Blue Sky. It's a little bit more centralized with Blue Sky, meaning it feels like it's easier to just I'm going to sign up for the Blue Sky one. But if you want the option to not be on Blue Sky, to be on some other one, you can. I like that. I like that a lot. I am not necessarily 100% for decentralization of everything quite yet, but I am here for the innovation of it, and I like what they're doing with Blue Sky. So I think it's good. Ooh, cool, sir. That is fancy. Okay, guys. I am not sharing my screen. This is it. This is what we're talking about. The Sony Ericsson. Okay, guys. This is way over what I was expecting. We didn't get to as much CES stuff as I'd like, so maybe we'll cover this again, or I'll come out with some more videos. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. If there's anything else you want to know, just let me know in the comments after this, and I'll try to answer them. Else, go to Discord. You can find us. Cascade, we should go back to using GameFAQs forms. Maybe. Keep an eye out. I will be having, I'll have an announcement for the new website coming out soon. Once I get to a certain point, I think you guys are going to really like it. As a community, it's going to be really cool. Yeah, so should have some more videos coming out this week, as long as work doesn't get in the way. And then, this will be a fun year. We're going to have a fun year this year. Games Revealed is back and better than ever, baby. Yes, thank you guys for stopping by and chatting with me. I love it. We'll see you in the next video or the next stream. Peace out, guys. Later.